one thing that became super evident to me, especially once I started becoming a member of this community that is predominantly plant-based and dating my partner who is vegan and has been vegan her whole life, was realizing the layers of misinformation and how deeply ingrained it was, even in my life. I mean, I was born in New York City, but I was raised in Colombia, in Bogota, in South America. And almost all of our meals include some sort of like animal product of some sort. And so I grew up with this idea, and also from the military, like these ideas are ingrained into my mind of like, you need to have animal protein. You need, all of these things because otherwise you won't be healthy. Otherwise, you're missing out on all these nutrients. You're missing out on all these different things. And one of the lessons that sort of ties in more directly to Buddhism is this idea of not taking everything the teacher says as the final word, but exploring this for yourself. Find out. Go and find out what is the better alternative. Do your own research. Find out what works, what doesn't work. And in the spirit of that, I realized how much of a game changer it has been for professional athletes and Olympic athletes to transition into fully plant-based lifestyles, and how much it's lowered their inflammation, and how much so many of these different metrics increased for them from that switch. And then on my own life, I love yoga, and yoga is probably the primary modality, movement modality that I practice. But I'm also a rock climber and a surfer, and I love riding motorcycles, and I do all these very physical things in the world. So these things are very important to me. How is my body performing? How soon can I recover? If I go to the gym, is it going to take me 2 days to not feel sore anymore so I can go back? All of these things are very important to me, and I notice how much easier it was for my body to recover once it didn't have to recover just from the inflammation of the meals that I was eating on a regular basis. And yeah, I think that it's very obvious to know that there's a narrative when you walk into a place and every single option has meat in it of some sort. And it's really a giant disservice to black and brown communities as well. You go to some of these neighborhoods. We were actually having a conversation about this a little while ago. You go to these places, it's a food desert, and every out of the corner, there's not a single grocery store. There's no veggies. There's no anything. But what you do find is sugar and fast food at every single corner.
Yeah.
And I believe that those things are not just a coincidence.
It's not. There's actually a term for it. It's called environmental racism. Have you heard of it?
Oh, dude, please tell me more.
Environmental racism. So this is a term that basically explains how people of color are targeted primarily to work at slaughterhouses, live by animal agriculture farms. So they're the primary target of these campaigns and propaganda because they're easier to target, right?
Yeah.
So people of color, they're easier to target. People that can't speak English, the new immigrants are coming. They'll make them work at the slaughterhouses because they can't really find any other job.
Yeah.
And they can't do anything about it because what else are they going to do? How are they going to make money? So they're targeting these communities that they know are going to be forced to work for them.
Yeah.
So they're going to target the people that don't have an income. They're going to target people that can't speak English that well.
Yeah.
People that basically are very, very vulnerable to their propaganda.
Yeah,
and
totally.
by doing that, they can get it spread and institutionalized into them. And the thing is, it's bad because not only are you ruining their health, but people that work in slaughterhouses, they don't enjoy their job. Most of them don't enjoy their job. They get traumatized from having to kill animals. And the more sinister thing about that is some of them do it for so long that they actually have to convince themselves to enjoy working because it's work. They have to find some sort of passion to get through the day. So it literally turns you psychotic by working there because now you have to convince yourself that this is the rest of my life. I'm going to be killing animals at the slaughterhouse, so I might as well have fun with it and might as well enjoy it because this is a coping mechanism, right?
Yeah.
Even in the corporate world, I see people creating coping mechanisms for trying to enjoy something that they really deep down know they're not enjoying, but they have to convince themselves at some degree that this is the right choice I'm making because I got to feed my family. So if I'm going to spend the majority of my life 8 hours a day, Monday through Friday, doing something, I have to create some sort of narrative that makes me enjoy it. And unfortunately, that narrative happens to be enjoying killing people, or killing animals, right? And some take pleasure in it. Some find entertainment in it. And, just like how we study these serial killers where they actually really, like Jeffrey Dahmer, He found a lot of pleasure in cracking people's bones. Like that was like a thing for him. Like he just loved breaking chickens' necks apart because he just loved the sound of the crack. So it's like almost like they'll find like a fixation to like kind of like get some sort of serotonin rush that allows them to enjoy the killing so that they can ignore the actual empathetic part of the animal
Totally.
and completely cut that connection off.
Totally.
So environmental racism is deep. I mean, that's just one aspect of it, but it's also
Yeah,
the
man.
aspect in the Matrix creating a environment where people that are in these neighborhoods, they only can access fast food and then they'll market it to them so that they grow up their entire life eating KFC, they grow up their entire life eating McDonald's, eating Burger King,
Yeah.
and it institutionalizes it into them in a way that they think it's their choice.
Yeah.
But in actuality, they have created a environment that naturally makes them gravitate toward these foods.
Yeah.
Because in actuality, anyone can go to a grocery store and get an apple, right? But you're never going to see an advertisement for an apple on TV. They're never going to show. They're going to show you get pizza. They're going to show you get burgers. They're going to keep showing like the glamorization of these dead bodies on television so that your mouth is craving it because they know how to market to these guys.
Totally.
And they know no one's going to really detect it unless
Yeah.
they really like dig into their system. And
Yeah,
they're just like, no,
totally.
we're going to keep you guys distracted. It's been working for thousands of years. And as long as they can get other people to do word of mouth marketing and get their friends and family to convince them that, yeah, this is good, they are safe. They are going to keep on doing this propaganda. And I think that's really how the Matrix works.
Yeah.
They get you institutionalized in it so that you can get your clan and your family and your friends into their marketing scheme.
Totally. Totally. Buying into the same reality where this is just normal. It's just normal to eat animals. It's just normal to like benefit off the suffering of other sentient beings. It's just normal to live this kind of life. And yeah,
For sure.
let's go swim with some sharks whenever we get a chance.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, thank you so much, Gabe. I appreciate you coming on this channel. And yeah, hope to see you soon.
Yeah.
Here.